Hi, this is Lilith Evernight. Thanks for watching my video on a celebrity tarot reading on Layne Staley. I should know I should know how to pronounce his last name better than what I am trying to attempt. But with all due respect, I just wanted to do very concise and just to the point reading on him, and to do it appropriately since I kind of, fell asleep a little too soon for this reading, and tarot can have its toll on me. It can take a lot of your energy, even preparing it sometimes. So anyway, Layne Staley from Alice in Chains. So, of course I say rest in peace, and that his spirit is resting well. So this is not a gossip or slander or hate video. So, it's just to honor his legacy, I guess, and just people who are fans. So anyway, let me just stop talking because I'm getting off topic once again a little bit, kind of, sort of. So I'm just going to start with the basic tarot deck. I know you can't really see the lighting here, but maybe if I put this candle up here, let me see. Maybe. Let's see. Okay, well, this is my basic tarot deck that I'm using. I didn't want it to be super light today, so I just decided to kind of have it a little dim, so I could have the light a little dimmed, so that I can ground myself and meditate on the energy. So anyway, I'm going to channel in Layne Staley from Alice in Chains as I work with my angels, ancestors, guides, God, Goddess, Mother, Father, Mother in the earth, Father in the sky, and see what my channeled information gives me, my channeled intuition, or am I saying it right? Okay. Channeling in my intuition as well. Through spirit, I have strength and confidence of just doing my readings on camera. Okay, that's enough. So I'm just channeling. Okay, I'm going to pull out 12 cards. Personality. This is just a basis of who he was, his personality, his life story, and so it's 12 houses, in astrology, the 12 houses of a tarot spread. It pretty much describes everything about you, similar to a natal chart, but through tarot, I guess. So that's another video for another time, so let me get to the point. So card number 1 is his personality. So it's card number 1 is the first house. It's number 1. It's Aries. So that's the personality that I'm getting here. So let me just channel in my intuition. Wow. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, but this card popped up. It says, element of surprise, good or bad. I wish I would have thought about... Okay. Hopefully you can see that. So, this is the Magician. So, there was something about him that was clearly very skilled, very talented, and he had the power. He had a very powerful energy. magicians, what are they known for? They're known for performing magic and being really good at it. So I feel that maybe him as a musician, that is where he was able to bring in his power. Him being a musician, him being, I also heard that he was a drummer, so I wish maybe I should just take out that light cover. Take this off a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so I have a rock right there, so just, it has a whole bunch of quartz, so don't mind it. Alright. It has like it's covered in quartz, so that's why I have this big ass rock right here. It's a part of my spiritual awakening. It's just a random ass rock. I don't know if it's gonna be a disturbance. You know what? Let's just okay, so he had power, and it indicates a new cycle in his life. This is a good time to, you know, maybe like when he was alive, he had it's still, you can't really see it, so hopefully you can see it now. So yeah, so he had the ability to manifest, and when he wanted to start something in his life, he had, as much as he was like a depressing person and almost kind of seemed gloomy and sad and all of that, he wasn't just like gloomy, sad, like, even though he wasn't emo, you know, that vibe that you get right here. When he was on stage, he had a powerful presence that made him, you know, this talented, skilled, powerful voice. He had the ability to probably even be magnetic, to draw in the things that he wanted in his life. He had luck setting his intention into what he wanted out of his life purpose. He put a lot of great efforts into it as well. In paying attention to his inner voice, and I think maybe sometimes, though, you know, he could have had his downers where he had lacked inspiration, you know, but at the same time, he was this unique, well, I mean, grunge was kind of trending back in those days. Not kind of, but it was. So yeah, he set the intention and he got it. He got his wish. He got his desires to be a rock star. He did it routinely. He did it ritualistically. He put the work out there. He gave the studies a chance to mold him into this master creator of his destiny. And he got the things that he intended for his life, that he wanted, where he wanted to go, where he was destined to be as a person in this journey before he had passed on. So I'm going to go to the second house, which is Taurus, which is possessions. And it's like also, Taurus is not just always about money, but Taurus is also about self-value, you know, valuing, just values in general, whether it's material value, emotional, spiritual value, all forms of value that you can expect. But for this reading, it's mostly based on financial value. So, let's see. Oh, wow, the devil. I knew it. I was like, oh my God, like, I know, like, I was thinking in my head, like, wow, I just knew that the devil card was going to come out for this reading. I just told myself, what cards do I think was going to come out for this reading? And I told myself within that it was the devil card. So I think what it was is that he was definitely financially, he was living that rock star life. He was living the drugs, sex, and rock and roll life with his money. It's not that he was poor. It's just that, you know, this is not to be religious, but, you know, in tarot, like, the tarot brings out biblical stories too. So this is the devil right here, and this is Adam and Eve. The lovers are Adam and Eve. But this can also represent him and his lover. Him and his lover being bound and being stuck into the material realm and being just being addicted to drugs or alcohol and toxicity in the relationship, possibly as well. There was toxic energy going on, and there was dark energy going on in the relationship. So he was definitely like in the music industry, it has, you know, it has to be known to it. Well, others secretly know. Not even secretly. It's just a stereotype. When people say you sell your soul to the devil, like this card kind of reminds me of that. I'm not saying that he sold his soul, but it's like saying like rock and roll is the devil's music as well. So, and I'm not even religious. It's just like, even though I don't really believe in certain things like that, even though I am a spiritual person, but I do believe in the hidden gems that are like in the Bible as well. So it's this thing where it's like rock and roll, the music industry, and they say that, you know, Lucifer, or, you know, I'm not here to judge the left hand path, right hand path. This is just what it is said. So the devil is also known to be, you know, Lucifer, Satan, the devil. And so it's like he owns the physical realm. Let's just use him as his energy. He owns the physical realm. So he owns all the fleshly things. And a lot of the parts of the music industry they're very focus based on that kind of lifestyle, whether it's sex, drugs, rock and roll, you got it. And sorry if you hear any background noise. I'm gonna just put this back up here. I don't know, this background is looking kind of weird. Well, you know what, I'm just going to have to whatever. Sorry for the lighting, it's horrible. I know, I have my, yeah, sorry for my face too. I'm doing my hair today. I have my dreads on. So yeah, addictions. addicted to the earthly realm, addicted to the drug, sex, rock and roll, the money, the lifestyle, the fame, the promises that, you know, that you get when you live in that kind of kingdom. In reality, it's I don't know how to explain it, but that was the situation that was going on in his relationship as well. So I'm going to be a little faster. And that's what was going on with his finances, was him using his money for addictions, feeding his addictions. And also his wife or fiance, I think, girlfriend, is right there with him, being chained as well to this entity that they were battling this toxicity. So communication is Gemini. The third house, let's kind of get a little faster here. I'm going to get a card for the third house, which is his communication. How did he communicate? Okay, let me see. Okay, Knight of Swords is right there. So even though, like, he was this, like, he seemed kind of like a sensitive soul. I don't even know his zodiac sign. I really don't know his zodiac sign. So it says that he was a fighter, he was combative, and maybe he was argumentative. Maybe he wasn't always like it's like it says a young man in a speedy situation. So maybe he was clearly he was going through a battle in his life. Maybe a battle in his questioning, you know, what was going on in his head a lot. Questioning, you know, maybe he had a battle in his mind as well. He had a battle in his mind, and he was probably the type of person to lash out when it came to being in tough situations. That he was going through an internal battle. So maybe the way that he communicated, it kind of showed, even if he didn't want to show it. Maybe he was aggressive sometimes, a little too much. You know, maybe when he was on edge or something like that. Maybe he was the type of person that would be on edge sometimes. But I don't really get a bad energy from him. I get a nice, humble kind of energy here. So I'm going to go with the home. I'm going to try to be faster. Okay, let's just do this fast. Okay, the home. This is travel overland. This is 3 of Wands. So there was an imbalance of maybe him probably not being at home all the time. He was probably always traveling, always on the road, and he was looking at his sights and trying to see, you know, he was also, let's see, when he was at home, it was like he wasn't really at home all the time. And like, I see this card also represents carelessness and ability to take charge. So he probably seemed like, even when he was at home, he just seemed aloof. he just didn't really seem to always care to have the traditional home all the time, since he was living this fast-paced life. Okay, Leo. This is the 5th house. Arguments, battles around you. So it seems like he was fighting with a lot of people here, and maybe something with the music industry, his bandmates. It looks like a group of people here. So he was having some problems in his band as well. Even I see a woman here. So it could be a battle with him and his fiance or someone else, another woman, but he was having some issues in the band. It was passionate, it was fiery, maybe creative differences as well. I'm going to try to be fast, so I might do a second part of this reading. But yeah, please subscribe, like, share, and comment if this gets cut off. Yeah, competition, rivalry, and need for... okay, so he was going through competition maybe with other bands as well. There was other competition, you know, maybe like with Nirvana, I don't know, maybe other grunge bands too, you know, and other people in his band were competitive. So what was going on with his career? I'm gonna do that. His career. He was a star. That was what he's known for. He was a star in his career. He stood out. He would be never forgotten. He brought hope. He brought inspiration. He brought brightness. But he had to focus on not being greedy, to have a balance, to be humble with his position in his career. He was meant to be a star. He was very talented. And he had a lot of hope into fulfilling that dream, and it really happened for him, even though he had his battles with addiction. I should do a next reading as to why he got into his addictions that way. You know, was it just because of the music industry that was filled with drugs? Which I think that's another reason. Okay, so I'm going to be a little faster here. Relationship. His relationship. Need to take a step out of the situation. This is him and his relationship right here. So maybe he was in other relationships in the past, and it just caused a lot of, like, you know, battle and friction, and he was holding on to this one last one right here. But even though he had even though he was holding on to that, he had a lot of, it seemed like he was wounded. Maybe they were back and forth with each other. I don't know, this was like an on and off relationship. There was like ups and downs. But, that one, he really kept that one relationship. And he left the other ones behind him. And really focused on that one. So, Scorpio is the 8th house. So what was hidden? I'm going to be faster here. What was hidden? It's 2 of Pentacles, so it's reversed. And it just seems like someone who is like, when it's not reversed, it means like not very mature with your money. So, financial problems, depression, and, and coping with issues. So even though he did have, money as a rock star, as a famous person, of course, he still had problems handling that part of his life that was hidden, coping with depression and his issues, coping issues. So it could also be with his addictions. So culture, Sag. Okay, culture. This card came out. This looks like somebody who's being praised and by the audience and all of that, but for some reason maybe he wasn't really used to that. Pride, egotistical, and success for others. He had his moments where he was egotistical as well. As a man, you want to be the top, and I think that caused a lot of jealousy, and maybe in his environment, in the new culture that he was in the music industry, that caused a lot of competition. So I'm going to be a little faster. His achievements. Okay, Ace of Wands, beginnings, new beginnings, birth, and new ideas. His achievements is that he had new ideas. He had, he was not, I don't think he was finished with his adventure. Canceled plans, stagnation, and depression. He felt like he would have done more creatively, put more of his passions out there. But, unfortunately, because of, his issues and his depression and addictions got in the way. So I'm going to do Aquarius, social. How is he socially? Okay, this is the moon reverse, so reserved, probably secretive. People kind of got that vibe that maybe he was hiding a part of himself. Yeah, secretive in many ways. So let me see. Subconscious. What was his subconscious? Socially, he wasn't very open with everything. So his last card. It was his subconscious. Wow, okay. This was him. Within, hidden. So, okay, I'm going to finish this off. Okay, all right. Distress, repression, anxiety is the moon card. So he probably came off that way. Sometimes he came off distressed and had some he was repressed, socially repressed, and had maybe some anxiety and something hidden inside of him, like and the subconscious is, separation, trust issues, and fear of the future. So he had trust issues and all of that. Maybe he was betrayed by certain people and he probably couldn't trust. He was the type of person who felt like maybe he was he was disappointed by certain people in his life. But I don't know if he knew it, but he was definitely, because music, I don't know if he knew it, but music is magic. And, when you're a musician, if you are especially spiritually in tune, then many musicians are magicians. They are magicians, but some of them don't even know that they have that power, that magical power, because music is a magical power. It's a magical gift, and that's a magical gift that he had. And he probably wasn't into, witchcraft and all that, or alchemy, but he seemed like the type of person that just knew that this is what he wanted to do, and he set that intention to be this musician, and he got that. But he also learned that money does not buy money, fame, fortune does not buy you freedom and happiness all the time. It cannot. Money and addictions and fame doesn't necessarily mean freedom. And that is what he also experienced, especially in his relationship. That battle that he was going through was a battle that not only that he was going through by himself, but also chained down with the woman that he was in a relationship with, which, this card also represents addictions, alcohol, drugs, sex, the physical realm. Being too consumed in it can take its toll on you and get you addicted to that lifestyle, the material shit, the money, the sex, the drugs. But if you have too much of it, it can consume you and own you and chain you. But yes, he is very powerful musician. And just, I want to say rest in peace, and thank you to the angels, ancestors, guides, and to Layne for sharing your art and your talents and your gifts. And thank you for watching. Even though the lighting was horrible. Next time I'm going to do this in the daytime. Okay. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment, and like the video. Alright, thanks.